Welcome to the Big Talk podcast, where we chat all things business and personal development related, totally unfiltered and unscripted. I'm your host, Amanda Davies, and I'm here to help you transform into the leader you were born to be, stand apart from the competition, and most importantly, share your message with the world in a big, big way. Are you ready? Welcome once again to Big Talk. I want to talk today about soul gifts, okay? And I'm not just talking about skills or talents that you have that have been manifested in the physical world. So, yeah, I don't really care if you're amazing at Microsoft Office products or you're an incredible Canva designer or a graphic designer or, I'm not talking about the skill set that you have, the 3D physical skill set. I'm actually talking about who the hell you were born to be, who you are at soul level, okay? Because I truly believe this, that we are born with an incredible assignment that we're here to deliver to the world. I believe that we are born with gifts as well. Our soul has unique gifts that it's here to bring and is here to uncover through our life, okay? And it's the medicine of these gifts that I know so many of us as business owners and people who are here to make a difference and to transform the lives of others. I know so many of us feel this resonance, this feeling of how can I bring more of my purpose work? What's my soul's purpose? What's my life's purpose? And what is it that I'm really here to do? And how can I impact these lives? These are the questions I know so many of you are asking. And a lot of it really does come down to understanding your unique soul gifts. Okay. So, soul gifts is a topic that I explore with a number of my one-to-one clients. Okay. Particularly when they're in this sort of stage of getting realigned with their business, or they feel like something's not quite stacking up, or they're feeling a little bit adrift. Sometimes it's really nice to start by looking at soul gifts. And there's a spiritual practice that I take my clients through around this, where we begin to discover what these gifts are at the point of origin. Okay, so it's not looking at an audit of just your resume and looking at all the skills that you've got. Okay, it's actually looking at who are you as a soul and what are those unique gifts that you have. And there's a process that I take people through around discovering those gifts. Okay, really, really, really transformative and powerful. Because here's the thing, once you are starting to show up in your career or your business in alignment with your soul gifts, everything becomes so much easier. Not to say you don't have to learn new skills and talents and, figure out your marketing strategy, all of those sorts of things. But when you know that everything you do is being driven by your gifts, your innate gifts, it just makes everything so much easier. Because guess what? You're in alignment to that point of origin. You're in alignment around your gifts and your talents that are innate and natural to you. You're not trying to be anyone you're not. You're not trying to force things. You're not trying to create stuff that's like, actually, it kind of fits, but it kind of doesn't. Actually, you are just living in that full alignment and the expression of your gifts. Okay. People are going to feel that as well. People will understand that. They'll be able to feel that resonance of you vibrating in that capacity and in that space of you sharing your gifts. People can feel it when someone's out of alignment. People can feel it. It feels like weird, right? But actually, when you show up and you are just speaking from that incredible place of truth and accessing your gifts, people can feel that too. And it starts to create that confidence. It starts to create that certainty in your work. And really, everything just starts to become so much easier. You begin to attract the right people into your world. And you also, sort of on a personal level, you just start to feel so much more in balance, so much more joyful in your work. And you just have that feeling of like being dropped in. You're in your body, you're in your flow, and you can really feel amazing and joyful and incredible and successful because you're sharing those natural gifts with the world. I guess when you look at the polar opposite of that, which so many of us have experience of, which is operating outside of our gifts, operating in our skill set, in our zone of talent, 3D world talent, or the skills that we've developed, or the university degree that we've got, yes, we might be drawing on part of our soul gifts, but really it's only part of the story. And this is why I believe so many people get to that point. Usually it's around their mid 30s or so, mid to late 30s, where they're like, what the hell am I doing? Why do I feel so unfulfilled? Why am I burnt out? Why do I feel like I'm struggling? Why do I feel like there's more to give? But even just the thought of giving more makes me feel even more exhausted. And people start to go through this process of feeling like, what the hell am I doing in my life? And I really, really, really believe it's got to do with not utilizing our soul gifts to their full potential and to their full power. Okay. So what I want to kind of do is just bring this to life with an example too, because I know sometimes it's difficult to understand, well, what is a soul gift? Like, what does that even mean, Amanda? And tell me like how that actually works. Like, how do you pick that up and how do you apply it to your business, or how do you start to use it to feel amazing about what you're doing and to bring that personal joy and happiness into your world too? So I'm actually going to use an example or two examples of my own soul gifts that I've discovered. And again, not to make this about me, but I just want to kind of bring it to life for you guys to show you how this works and what's going on. Because I can tell you that in the last 6 years of running this business, I have felt completely aligned. I have felt completely joyful, and I have felt completely happy in what I'm doing. And I can't say I've ever felt that way before in my corporate career and all of that sort of stuff. Okay. And no, it's not just because of the freedom that my business affords me. That's part of it. That's a value of mine. It's not just because of the money, and it's not just because I work with amazing people. It's all of those things too. But it's mostly because I'm living in complete alignment with my gifts. Okay. And that is the thing that I believe has made a real difference for me and my personal sense of happiness as well. And look, I'm not saying that it's all rainbows and butterflies. There have been days where I'm like, this is shit. I don't know if I could do this, and I have the same wobbles that you all have. I've been through that too. But despite the weather, the weather of emotions, and despite the weather of the bad days, at my core, I know that I'm completely locked in and here doing what I'm meant to be doing in the world. And this is my contribution. Okay. So just to give you an example of two of my soul gifts. All right. One of my soul gifts is called building. All right. And building is a very physical soul gift. It's something that needs to be expressed in the 3D. And it's really interesting because when I was doing the work to really get clear on this gift, it sort of annoyed me when I first when I first realized that was a gift. It's like, how can that be a gift? Because you want these gifts that you have to be really grand and incredible and like all these sorts of things. But actually, sometimes they are the most simple yet the most profound gifts. Okay. So one of mine's called building, and it's really about bringing things into a reality. It's about landing concepts. It's about getting that traction. It's about real world momentum. There's also a link to physical space and physical structures too, which makes complete sense. One of the occupations I was even considering, when I was trying to choose what I was going to do after school was to become an architect. So I love architecture. I love buildings. I love old ruins and physical spaces. All right. The gift of building is, yes, it can be those physical locations and physical buildings. But as I said, it can also be the building and the landing and the birth of, I guess, some of the more metaphysical concepts into the world, into reality. And, people have always told me my entire life, it's like, well, you're just so freaking grounded. Like, what the fuck? Like, you're really grounded and you get it. Like, you get the momentum, you get how important it is to have strategy and structures. And yes, that is just part of me. Okay. I don't like wishy-washy sort of stuff either. It doesn't work for me. So part of me is like, accepting that as a soul gift and recognizing that in my business, this is about helping people birth ideas into reality. Okay. I mean, hello, building, right? Building businesses, building concepts, building programs, building a life that is in alignment with people's callings and gifts and talents as well. So it makes sense to me that building is one of my gifts. But interestingly, one of the other gifts that I have is called mental power. All right. And mental power it's all about, I guess you could describe it as that sort of air energy. It's about imagination. It's about ideas. It's about creative concepts. It's about vision. It's about very well developed third eye intuition as well. A lot of people don't make that connection, but it's very much about seeing things clearly, seeing through the truth or seeing through the facade to see the truth of a scenario. So I have a very big mental capacity as well. All right. And intellectual curiosity and all that sort of stuff too. And that has absolutely been a theme of my life also. All right. So I have this very grounded earth kind of based gift, and also this very air, creative, imagination, ideas based gift. Right. So this isn't to say that your gifts perfectly kind of complement each other all the time, or they make perfect and total sense. Sometimes you're afraid of your gifts. Sometimes you're like, what the fuck? I don't want that as a gift. Oh my God, is that really a gift? I thought everyone could do that. It's like you have these sorts of reactions to your gifts, okay? But one of the things that I know, now that I really understand my own gifts, the ability that I have to connect ideas, not just sort of the ideas in the intangible form, but to then bring those into existence and to really act as that bridge almost between the intangible and the tangible. That is a gift of mine. And not everybody has that. There are other people that have a very similar gift to that, of course, but this is the thing, the expression of those gifts and how you show up and give them to the world and share them with your audience, it's going to be really different for everybody. All right. And so it's not to say that, oh, I'm the only one that could act as that bridge and help people birth their ideas. And like, no, there's other people that can do that. But I know that the expression of that gift, the way that I show up, my personality, who I am, the divine assignment that I've been given as well versus others, it's going to be different. So pulling all of those qualities together in and around our soul gifts is what really creates that unique vibration that is you. That's the thing that I call your unique medicine. It's based around the soul gift, but really it's about how you show up, who you are, what you do, and yes, the skills that you've collected along the way too, because hey, guess what? No freaking accident that you've had the jobs that you've had, or you've been through what you've been through as well, because it's all meant to form this incredible, beautiful puzzle that is your unique intelligence, your unique wisdom that you're here to bring to the world. Okay. And it's that medicine. It's the kind of the collective call to share that medicine now that I believe is on everybody's lips at the moment. There are people post-pandemic that are like asking the big questions of their lives. They're needing help. There are people who just realize how out of alignment they are in their lives. There are old structures dying away. There are people looking to heal their physicality or their mental, some of the mental concepts and things too, or starting to drop some of the traumas and the baggage that they have. People need this medicine that is unique to you, that only you can bring. I have said this since the beginning. You have something that no one else has. And the truth is, the longer you sit on these gifts, the longer you deny these gifts, the longer you think, oh, everybody can do that. And the longer you sort of put these things off or only draw on part of them rather than standing in the full expression of these gifts, the longer you put this off, the more you're going to lose out, the more humanity is going to lose out, because you still think that what you do isn't incredible enough, or isn't impactful enough, or doesn't help people enough, or that you can't do it, or you don't believe in yourself enough. I'm telling you, guys, when you get connected to the origin of your soul gifts, when you understand those at the point of origin, everything begins to make sense. Everything. So I'm really excited to be bringing this work a lot more to my business. I'm bringing it into work with my business coaching clients. Yes, I'm also going to be launching a new program in the new year that is all about understanding and discovering soul gifts and starting to work with this original wisdom that you have and this medicine that you're here to bring. Okay. I'm really, really, really excited to be sharing that. It's kind of been an offering that's been on my heart for a really long time. And I just haven't quite had all of the pieces, I think, to bring it into something that feels really cohesive and actually makes an impact. But I've got all those bits now that I'm really, really happy to pull together into a program and share with you a little bit more. But one thing that I am doing, and I'm offering this over the month of December, I'm looking for 5 people who are willing to dive a little bit deeper into their unique soul gifts with me. So it's not the full program or anything like that, but I am asking people to volunteer just to sort of work with me a little bit, just to test some of these concepts and just to sort of, again, get in contact with what their soul gifts are, number one, but then also look at maybe, okay, well, then how can we start to bring these into your business or into your world just generally and start to apply these. So I am after sort of 5 volunteers at this stage. So definitely drop me an email, support@lightpurposeliving.com, and my assistant will reach out to you to set up a time for us to chat. This is just sort of, again, it's for me to just test some of these concepts. All right. But what I would say, if you're going to volunteer for one of these 5 spaces, I really want to understand, a little bit about you and your business and your background and where you're struggling. So there will be sort of a form for you to fill in too. And I also need to know that you have a willingness to go into the depths of I guess, the more spiritual piece, because what we're going to do together will be quite woo-woo, all right? It's not going to be for everybody. So you do need to have a spiritual faith or a spiritual based mentality around this work, okay? It's not for people who just think we're going to do a skills audit and sort of do a couple of personality profiles. No, that's not the work that we're doing. We're doing like 5D kind of work behind the scenes, all right, to really get into the depth and the meat of what these soul gifts are, which is really exciting. And this is going to really help me inform my program as well going forward too, all right? So it's a little bit of a sort of not so much a focus group, but just a little bit of market research for me, just to help me with that. And sort of as a result, we're going to do a little bit around looking at your soul's gifts too. And I'm going to share with you some of my methods for that. Okay. So if that's something that you're interested in, definitely drop me an email. As I said, I'm looking for 5 volunteers for the month of December. All right. There's no real time commitment, not a huge time commitment on your part. We'll just probably have a couple of chats about this. But I'm really excited because this is really what I feel the next iteration of my work. And it's kind of ironic because it's been something I've spoken about since the beginning. And yes, I've focused on business strategy and business building, very much that building gift, okay? And helping people really uncover their purpose and bring that more into their business and being able to get visible and work through some of the mindset stuff. But what I really want to do is take people back a step and start looking at, okay, so how can we start to bring soul gifts into this work? What does that look like? So if that sounds like you, I'd be thrilled to hear from you. I really, really would. Until next time, I'll catch you later. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Big Talk podcast today. If you have enjoyed this episode, then please do leave us a review and share it with your friends. For further information about our programs and free content, head on over to lightpurposeliving.com. See you soon.